Hello, this is Zampo. Today I'm going to talk about how ICT plays a role in classroom teaching learning. If you look at the the frameworks of Coyle and Misra, we will know that how technology plays a great role in the teaching, learning, and assessment. So this tutorial is basically focus on how the TPACks works in the uh, teaching, learning, and assessment. So we have to understand what is TPACk. This TPACk has been become a very significant principle and theory that practiced in many of the university today. Uh, TPACk stands for the technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge, which means these three areas: technology, pedagogy, and contents. They work together. We always feel that somebody with IT is a perfect person to use technology, and we always feel that somebody who has got an educational background is more the expert and experience to integrate pedagogy into classroom. Similarly, we also always try to make a boundary that somebody is very uh, you know uh, well versed with the content and specialized in the particular content. So when we talk about all these three things has to be happen in a classroom teaching situation, these all three things has to come. So there are a lot of papers and lot of research that has happened under this area, and I would like to today what I like to tell you is how this TPACk model works for designing a lessons that would be useful for teaching, learning, and assessment. So these TPACk, it is a theory that is developed to explain a set of knowledge that teachers need to teach their students subject, teach effectively, and use technology. So you just look at that. Now the teachers need to have a knowledge of subject, need to have a knowledge of using the pedagogy, and also have idea of using a technology, because just having a content does not help the people to communicate well. Just strategy is the effective way of delivering your content. But when I say effective way of delivering a content, we can enhance our delivery incorporating ICT tools. All right. So today, during the pandemic situation, just imagine how our teachers are teaching our childrens by staying at home. So here, the subject and the pedagogy may not just help; they need to use a technology. So technology comes there to play, a significant role. So this is what we are going to look at. So now you know what is TPACk. TPACk is the technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. This framework initially started by the Misra and Coyer, and this has been today it has become a prominent framework for curriculum developer, and in many of the university in the world they use this TPACk model of planning a lesson. All right, now I like you to all to use these QR to write some answer for me, and later on I will display to you all. Please use your QR code, scan this QR code, and you will get the questions, respond that respond to the questions accordingly, and later on I will show you how that response was given by you. Alright, I will now go to this TPACk model. Today there are technological model. If you go for technology, there are summer model, ADDI models. These are the technology models, okay? But here TPACk is the model that is to be accepted by a teacher, where teachers need to be prepared with with the TPACk model. Any teachers graduates, they must have TPACk, you know TPACk design of lesson planning. So TPACk gives us three knowledge areas to consider: technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. If you draw a Venn diagram, you are going to see that if you draw a Venn diagrams like this, there are three areas. One is technology, another is content, and third one is pedagogy. So when you draw a Venn diagram of technology, content, and pedagogy, you're going to see there is an intersections between these three areas, and there is an intersection between the two areas like content and technology, technology and pedagogy, pedagogy and technology, which means many of the things that you can go very well with technology and pedagogy. There are many of the things which you can do just by content and technology, meaning you can teach the content just by using technology. There are many contents which you can deal with the pedagogy and content, okay, pedagogy and content alone without technology. But there are certain things which you cannot avoid all the three. They meet the intersections. If you look at in the middle, you will see technology, you will see pedagogy, and you will see the content. So that is called TPACk model. So TPACk model is very important for the teachers to understand that without technology, content cannot be delivered. Without pedagogy, content cannot be delivered. They are interconnected to each other. So certain areas of your teaching learning, you need to have all should come together. Therefore, time and often people say that I cannot use the technology, or I found it technology so useful. True, which means you are in the middle. So there are certain things that you can use a technology to deliver a content. So this is why this intersection is very important, intersection between technology and content. Likewise, you will see other. So these middle one is very, very important to understand that teachers must have not 100% knowledge required here. Just look at this. This is not 100% knowledge required for this. But of course, we should have the knowledge of content, knowledge of pedagogy, knowledge of technology together. So certain areas of your delivered teaching learning demands to have all the three. That's why it is TPACk model is very important. There are certain areas of your teaching where only technology and pedagogy go well together. Just pedagogy alone cannot help. Example is like when there is in the pandemic situation, when you want to communicate with your children, did your pedagogy all alone work there? I know that it didn't. So technology is required. Therefore, there is also like wherever there is a content, for example, if you want to teach the content, can you do just by pedagogy if it is in the distance? No, I need a technology there. So this is very important to understand this model and the core framework. You will get a plenty of this Misra's research, and then many university has done a lot of research. Please go through these, and then you should get motivated. You should have the idea how this tech model works. You should not tell that technology is the separate module. It's not a separate. It is integrated into the content automatically. That is what teachers must accept, the fact that technology, pedagogy and contents goes together. Okay, so now we are let's look at the philosophy of this TPACk. Currently the technology is treated as if it is separate from teaching learning. Just how this is how we look at things, because we look at technology is something far away from our pedagogy, far away from our content. So this is how we look at. The another thing is training is provided. That any training that has to come, that would be always given as an ICT training, and without any simple example, teachers are asked to apply them in their field. So there is a lot of gap in delivering the technology. So that is sometimes one of the reasons why teachers find it challenging to integrate. Misra and Coyer refresh the remarks and commented about the PACk to apply the idea to TPACk. PACk to TPACk, please understand. So PACk is pedagogical content knowledge to, we are taking to. So what the Coyle and Misra said is, teacher has to make a move from PACk to TPACk. That is very important. Technological pedagogical content knowledge rather than pedagogical content knowledge. Just having pedagogical content knowledge does not help. Let's say the TPACk represents a class of knowledge that is central to the teacher's work with technology. Look at this. This is what the Misra said in his paper, in his framework. The TPACk is representing a class of knowledge that is very much important for the teachers to work with the technology. If teachers does not have any ideas of technology, it's obvious he or she will find it teaching learning is challenging and will be challenging for 21st century and on. Okay, these knowledge would not typically be held by technological profession subject matters expert or technologists who know little of subject or pedagogy, or by teachers who know little that subject and both technology. So here what it means is, not teachers need not have to be necessarily that it is the only technologist. One who is perfect in technology would apply the technological knowledge into teaching. No, with the knowledge of the subject, with the knowledge of pedagogy, teachers can bring in certain technology that are useful, that would really marry each other, and then your teaching would be enhanced. Because today even research has proven that if you use TPACk model, children learn much better, faster, and improves their learning performance. Let us see now. This is what I'm finally like to tell you is very important. These triangulated areas then constitute a TPACks, right? That at the center, which considers the relationship amongst all the areas. That center part is related to all the areas, meaning technology, meaning content, and also the pedagogy. So the knowledge of that educators are acting with this is complex space. So people think it's quite easy for the teachers to go only with the pedagogy and content. Technology, just they leave it, which meaning that core and central part of the Venn diagram is being left out by the teachers. Therefore, there is a challenge for students to understand, challenge for the teachers to teach well. So we need to understand this. Now let me take you to some of the challenges of integrating TPACk models into the classroom. TPACk model into the classroom. Now, keeping technology as a separate knowledge set cause a problem. We understood now, because it is We cannot separate these three areas. It has become a part and parcel for each other. They go along. So keeping technology as a separate knowledge sets or cause a problem. But when we understand the framework of TPACk, we can integrate technology into the contents pedagogy of our classroom. So what we are saying is every teacher must understand how TPACk works. TPACk, not I'm talking about PCK, pedagogical content knowledge. TPACk, okay, technological pedagogical contents. It's very important. Today our shift is from PACk to TPACk. Okay, PACk to TPACk, pedagogical content knowledge to technological pedagogical content knowledge. So now these integrations will help the students to learn more effectively. Is very obvious, because otherwise teachers is leaving that core part. We are not talking the technology and content and pedagogy in what do you say, in union. We are talking in isolation. So that's why the children find it challenging to understand sometimes the content delivered by the teacher. Likewise here, Misra and Coir, once more I'm saying this, Misra and Coir, there are a lot of researches has done by these people. So you will also have, there is a site for you later on I have given, you can go through that. This Misra and Coir suggested that TPACk should be the guide, curriculum developer, should guide, and the teacher educators, teachers in education. So one is TPACk model is useful for the curriculum developer and another is for the teacher. So to apply TPACk to our classroom now, this is what people have to think about and start moving towards appreciating the model of TPACk and learn about the model and practice the TPACk. Okay, practice TPACk. Try to bring the certain ICT component of pedagogy and the contents. So we try to mix together, and then that makes it better for the children to understand. So during the instructional planning, teachers technological pedagogical knowledge is operationalized. Yeah, this is very important. While you are bringing this TPACk into the classroom, in the planning period, teachers pedagogical knowledge, technological knowledge and content knowledge must be operationalized. Bring it into practice, put into their activities, learning activities, how to insert them. That is that they select and combine a sequence and redesign by Harris 2008. So if you look at this Harris paper, you will understand how the planning can be done and then how it can be operationalized into the classrooms. Okay, then there is another group of people. It is far ahead of this TPACk model came into existence. Little is known, however, how digital education technologies are integrated into the teaching planning. See, this idea has come from 2004. People start thinking about how technology will enhance the contents delivery. So this was Steuven and Avery in 2004. Now there is a sorry, I think I jumped to one slide over that, but anyway it's okay. But this is sorry, I'm just going back to one slide back here in the middle. I just left. Okay, another question: how does the IT impacts teaching learning with technology? How does it impact? What is it? How does it impact the teaching learning technology? How does it impact? What is it? It is TPACk. Okay, please understand TPACk. How does TPACk impacts the teaching learning with technology? I think obvious for us. There is a lot of answer. How does it impact? It impacts because why teachers are not using technology is also one of the impact, so Mishra and Coyer claim that the lack of awareness of TPACk keeps technology separate. This is a good, I mean, like everything happened today. TPACk is not so popular for the teachers, have not heard of this. Therefore, people don't use this TPACk model for planning and designing their lessons. So they keep it technology as a separate, and they always think that yes, content and pedagogy works. And this is what happens in your early training in the pre-service training. Sorry, pre-service training. People practice pedagogy to how to deliver the content. So different pedagogies are learned. Okay, but today that is not only that is not sufficient. We need to have a technology. This is why somewhere at the institute in the institute like Samchi College of Education, particularly the master program, is totally come around the TPACk model. You see, we have the contents, we have the pedagogy, and we also have the technology. You have seen that we deliver you with the content advancement. Okay, there are 5 modules. Then we have the PDY, teaching learning assessment, and that is a pedagogy and technology, PDY another. So 3 things are brought together so that you get to understand all as a whole. So ultimately, when you graduate, you should be able to understand what is TPACk and should be able to design a lesson using TPACk, meaning you should be able to use technology in your pedagogical and content delivery. Okay, now how it impacts is what the Mishra said is that the lack of awareness is one of the things that people always keep the technology far away from their professions or the practice, and it leads to a poor problem with it leads to poor problems with using technology. If people try to isolate this kind of practice using technology into classroom, there would be certain problem. These problem can be seen because of one, there are such a rapid change in a technology that it is extremely difficult to keep up with all the latest advancement and then apps. Even today when we use so many apps and then so many teaching learning tools, but still then we feel we are always back behind. Today something new comes out and tomorrow far better than that there is something. So what we have to be is we have to be able to use the basic features, and the rest of the features automatically we need to keep update. So that is why people find it very, very, very challenging. Technology is challenging because it's changing every day, and that's why it is a problem. And it should not be a problem, but people feel it that it is a problem, and that is the reason. Another thing is that they try to avoid. The second problem is that software designs are all for business. People wanted to make a money. WeChat for money, WhatsApp for money. And if you look at any softwares, it's not for educational purpose. It's all for business, just to earn money. They always think about where are more audience, how to capture the audience, how to sell their apps faster. So the problem is that all the apps and software designs are for business purpose, not for education. Please keep in mind. And as a result, since it is not for direct education, and people think that it is not useful because it's mostly for something else. Look at this Facebook. If people think is it for the education? Obviously no. This is for the social socializing, getting people to know each other from a distance, far off place. But if you bring it to the education, tune it, design it such a way that you can teach your lessons using those, is a mean. Then it becomes is a forum place for the people to teach. That's why design is different, and that's why the people don't think that it is useful for educational purpose. They think this is different. So that's why students are learning how to use the program, and not learning something out of that content, out of that apps. For example, Facebook, children, everybody knows how to use it. Do they know how to use that program for delivery of the content? This is a problem. So that is why has become another problem for the educators or the teachers to use TPACk. Thirdly, a teachers can adjust the lessons to make sure it meets the need of all the specific groups of the student. But the providing video just a one media, does it really helps and caters the need? So not only video, you need to provide wide range of tools, video, audio, the interactive tools, graphics, diagrams, voice over, anything. That's why it is not only the video, because what I'm saying is, if one person think about using only particular tools, obviously that will not help or cater the need of all the students. Finally, Mr. inquire that keeping technology separate place and emphasize on what to teach, not how to. So here keeping technology is separately what technology is, not how to. Emphasizing on what is technology is a problem, not how to use the technology is important now. Finally, if you look at this, keeping technology separate place and emphasize on what, not how. So what he mean to say is, don't isolate a technology and tell them this, what is this and what is that and how is that and so dangerous, and then you do this and that. Instead of that, how do you teach? How do you plan your lessons using apps? How do you assess your students using apps? How do you allow your student to assess themselves using apps? How is more important than what? So knowing computer is not so important. Today I don't know many of the parts of the computer, but what I know is I know how to use it. So this is why teachers must know in that way, and that's why you'll find it TPACks more friendly to the teachers. So we should not isolate technology. Okay, then I come to some of the areas to think about. How do we design activities by integrations of technological pedagogical content knowledge? How do you design activities? Okay, that's very important. Let's think about it, since that was the lessons here in the presentation. What are the design principles of the TPACk? Yeah, designing principle of the TPACk. You should understand it. If you start just writing a TPACk model, then you get plenty of. Please read and understand. That is very, very, very important, because if you don't understand the TPACk, the world will remain same. People will never use the technology in the teaching learning. Today, a lot of research happening around in this topic, and reading on such areas should motivate you to take forward the technology into the classrooms and satisfy every learners, and they get motivated, thrilled to learn and enjoy to come to the class and listen to you. So to the end, now some of the examples based planning activities. If you like to see some plannings, TPACk designs and design lessons, and also see the grounded technological integrations. I mean, like practically how the people have grounded, used the technology into their lessons. So you can go through this 1, 2, 3 websites that I have provided here. The link. It is not the limit. There are many, but this is just because I read some of the things and drop in here, and that's where I have put here. All right. So what is important is at the end I would like to tell you that TPACk model is so important because some of the contents and pedagogy will not be delivered so easily without technology. They are interrelated to each other. So some of the contents you can do very well with the content, some of the contents you can deliver very well using a pedagogy, and sometimes the pedagogy and technology also go, supports delivering the lessons together. Therefore you need to know all this, the intersections of the Venn diagrams of these three areas. All right, I hope this will help you. So this is my uh, end of the presentations on a TPACk model. Thank you.